Well, good Saturday evening. I'm Tamer Knight alongside meteorologist Simone Thomas. Thank you at home for joining us. And Simone, we are under a weather impact alert because it's going to be hot again.
Yeah,
and
getting a
again.
little bit hotter than what we saw last week. We're going to quickly take a look at radar. We've had a few isolated to spotty showers and storms impacting some of northeast Arkansas this afternoon. Most of us staying dry and having to battle with the heat and humidity. 97 right now in the capital city with that feels like up to 105, 94 in Searcy, but it feels like over 110. Of course, feels like temperatures statewide pretty much are over 100 degrees, and it's going to continue to get hotter over the next couple of days. We've got some heat advisories in effect through 9 o'clock this evening, but tomorrow through Tuesday, another round of extreme heat warnings as well as some more heat advisories will go into effect for most of the state from tomorrow morning through Tuesday evening. So our weather impact alert is in effect from tomorrow through Tuesday, where high temperatures looking to get into the low triple digits. Feels like temperatures are much hotter. We'll have full details on what to expect in your 7-day outlook.
Well, thank you, Simone. Emergency crews spent much of the morning working to contain a leak that forced the closure of part of North Rodney Parham Road in West Little Rock. Summit Utility says a vehicle struck a utility pole and gas meter near Rodney Parham and Roosevelt Road, causing a natural leak. The leak shut down part of North Rodney Parham as utility crews and Little Rock police worked to secure the area. Crews spent several hours repairing the damage while officers redirected traffic around the closure. At this time, no injuries were reported and the roadway reopened once the scene was cleared. And Russellville police are searching for a missing 94-year-old man who left home on a bicycle earlier this afternoon. Russellville police say Jose Lopez was last seen around 2 p.m. leaving his apartment on East 16th Street. He was wearing a black t-shirt, jeans, and a hat. Anyone with information is asked to contact Russellville police. And the FDA says a Texas egg producer is pulling products that they say could be contaminated with salmonella. They made on it to some shelves here in Arkansas at Brookshire's grocery stores. And if you're streaming us in Texas or Louisiana, Kroger sold them as well. There are some specific codes you need to check for, and we've got them in the digital version of this story at thv11.com. And throughout the state, people are on high alert for cyclosporiasis, the foodborne illness with a few nasty symptoms. THV11's Carter Thweet talked with some people who say they're not too worried about it, though, with local produce being the key.
In the past week, Arkansas's cyclosporiasis cases have doubled.
It's been a topic of conversation. So many menus around town have some form of a salad or a lettuce component.
Which is where you commonly find this disease. The Faded Rose pulled all lettuce from its menu this week. At Reduno, owner Deanna Barlogi says they have reason to be optimistic.
We were already kind of set up to be a very low risk place for this issue because we already source the majority of our greens from local sources.
CBS News reports that more and more Americans are shopping local with reports of more and more cases. That's a good thing for Jacqueline Carpenter, who was at the River Market Saturday to sell her husband's produce grown in Grady.
Ours is homegrown. The seeds that they're using is homegrown, taken care of. We're not packaging it and shipping out to the store like that. So we're picking it up from the ground.
Meaning they know exactly where it's coming from, and it's not part of the crop that's been recalled due to cyclosporiasis concerns.
There's really not much that we here locally have to worry about.
Barlogi says she'd encourage a local focus even after the disease is gone.
There's way less hands touching it. There's way less spots it's having to stop and before it picks up again. And that's what we've always really loved at Reduno is we can pinpoint exactly where a lot of our food is coming from.
In Little Rock, Carter Thweet, THV 11 News.
Carter, thank you. Health officials are encouraging you to wash your hands before and after handling raw fruits and vegetables, and also be sure to wash the items themselves under running water. And hundreds of Maumelle students and teachers got a helping hand ahead of the new school year during the city's annual Back to School Bash. Families gathered Friday evening at Lake Willestein Park for the 2026 Maumelle Back to School Bash. The event offered free backpacks and school supplies for students, along with classroom supplies for teachers. Attendees also enjoyed free haircuts, games, and community resource booths. The event was hosted through a partnership between the City of Maumelle, the Maumelle Area Chamber of Commerce, and local first responders. Organizers say the event helps connect families with resources while making sure students start the school year prepared for success. And former high school basketball standouts from across Arkansas are back on the hardwood this weekend in Little Rock, competing for community pride and year-long bragging rights. The Who Run It Alumni basketball tournament is underway at the Jack Stevenson Center, bringing together former players from high schools across Arkansas. Teams are competing for the championship and the title of the squad that runs it until next year's tournament. The event also supports the local youth through school supplies and backpack donations. And U.S. forces paused the latest offensive in the war with Iran, while President Trump escalated with trade wars. New tariffs. CBS Olivia Gazas has more.
After nearly 2 weeks of nightly strikes by the U.S., the Pentagon announced no new attacks overnight, despite Iran claiming responsibility for retaliatory attacks on U.S. bases and assets in Kuwait, Bahrain, and Jordan. President Trump, headlining the White House Correspondents' Dinner Friday night, said Tehran is seeking an off-ramp.
But they don't have much left. And by the way, they are talking to us right now. They'd love to make a deal.
The rescheduled gathering was a smaller affair than the one in April, which abruptly ended after a gunman tried to storm the ballroom at the Washington Hilton Hotel.
It turned out to be the biggest event in the history of your day. That was by far the biggest, right? For all the wrong reasons.
The president spoke for more than an hour, delivering remarks that were a mix of humor, insults, and grievances.
And I didn't go for 4 years because I got treated terribly by the press. In my opinion, unfairly.
Before breaking bread with the press, the president launched new tariffs in the latest battle in his global trade war. The administration says the double-digit tariffs on dozens of trading partners are in response to concerns about forced labor, prompting pushback from allies.
We do not believe it was justified. We believe that amongst all of the countries in the world, Australia does take the issue of slavery, modern slavery, seriously, and will continue to do that.
Small businesses in the U.S. filed 2 lawsuits challenging the new tariffs that came after the Supreme Court blocked an earlier effort and as temporary 10% worldwide tariffs expired. Olivia Gazas, CBS News, the White House.
A man that thought his car repair was covered. Coming up, why his warranty claim was denied and what you should watch for when we come back.
And our heat advisory for today is set to expire at 9, but overnight, not much relief from the heat is expected. Temperatures are expected to dip into the middle and upper 70s, and you can't rule out a stray shower. But details on the next 7 days are coming up after this break.